Hello, and this is just going to be a short video because I've been really excited since last night and I've not gone to shower and I really need to rest at one point because I said yesterday I have very strong Taurus energy and my thyroid, if I don't sleep very well, could be swelling up. So, but I feel like there's a message I need to say, I need to get out. The spirits have been bugging me and to the point where I am physically bugged, annoyed myself. I need to get this out, so I'm gonna say it. I feel like right now is an energy of very Martian Mars. The Mars in Aries energy is very aggressive, unrestrained, self serving, penetrating, direct, and unyielding. Now, all these things added together equals to a kind of radicalism and not, I would not even say radicalism, that's not even the word, a kind of, you know, creation of a classic you versus me, good versus bad, black versus white, um, so on. At any given time, the division you could make from a given situation is infinite. You can make endless things to seem divided if that is your will, because ultimately the world is a infinitely divisible thing. It's the reason it gives such variety and beauty, but it's also the reason where if somebody is playing with the mirrors of the soul, it could sometimes be very deceiving. All the people that died in all the wars, and I don't just mean these days, I mean in the past of ancient battles, ancient wars, wars of the gods, and all those things. Thermal, hot nuclear war, all those things. All those people who died in those things thought they had a reason to die. Maybe they did. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, it seems to me that all this, because in a war, you know what it really means is that you engage the other side in a game. And anytime if two people are willing to play the war game and they have enough money and enough resources, enough time, you could play the war game, but it's a game. It's not like growing a pumpkin, raising chickens, picking blueberries. It's not a productive thing per se. And I'm not advocating for production is the only thing that we should do. I'm not saying that I think we should have learned something from the experiments that was the Soviet Union and other kind of things, even Nazi Germany, I would say, where productivity became the new god. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that war is it's a consumption thing. But I am compelled to say this, that on this land, on this beautiful turtle island that we have split into areas we call North America, Canada, America, Mexico, whatever. There's a lot of tension right now, and there's a lot of people who are standing to benefit from civil war. They're just waiting. They've been doing this all over the world. They've been doing this all over the world. Whoever would buy their weapons, buy their drugs, be a good customer. And now it's come to America and Canada, I suppose. But that's what I'm saying. It's one land, you know. But I think the is tension is always artificial. This is something I think Bruce Lee got very was maybe the beginning of introducing this kind of stuff, because I do realize now, having lived in I grew up in Canada. I so the now I've had living here for many years. Um, the whole concept of tension is quite new. Even in people who sort of, in Asia, a martial artist would basically train his body around the concept of tension. Um, the all those things, basic training techniques in martial arts that seem kind of gruesome, that are about sort of holding your muscle for a certain amount of time in a certain amount of positions. It's a way of creating a tension release, tension release, because it's always both. Actually, this is maybe where I was getting to. The tension release and ultimately the duality. The duality is to realize, obviously, I talk about this in another video, but to realize that you are not the duality. Meaning, a duality is our states of being. You are not a state. You're not tension or release. You're in tension or you're in release. You are the thing experiencing it. You're not split. You're the one. You have always been the one. As Peter Tosh said, it's the one from the beginning. So, in terms of being the one, I think people can start to realize that it's ultimately very dumb to kill each other. Especially in a situation where we really need each other. We really need to support our local producers in everything, whether they produce vegetables, grain, dairy, beer, cheese, all these things. We really need to support sort of the labor that can, labor is labor, anybody's labor in doing things that are productive like that, like someone who makes bread. Because the other side of the Mars and Aries energy is a very firm commitment to progress, meaning it's Aries fire. It can burn away anything that stands in its way. It's almost kind of unrestrained in that sense, and So we are in the time of forging a new path. And there's a line of blood that believes we must do things in a certain way, according to a certain written law or unwritten law. But I don't believe that's the way. I don't believe in any ages where people were enlightened, or the ancients called the golden ages, that there was just one way. Because to have a real symphony, you need like 48 people playing at the same time, counting the same time that they're experiencing. You need all of them to be enlightened enough to be each doing it, and then you would see the shimmering light, the golden age. But otherwise it's fake. It's like a painted gold, which I think we are every day being presented in print media. A print is a print. You can in the traditional times people would paint a print, and so actually I have something to show you guys. Wait, I don't know if you can. That is a print. That is a 18th century print, hand colored, of something I guess that was popular for people to print and sell copies, postcards and stuff, of the French astronomer Nostradamus. I guess he's not French per se, but yeah, Nostradamus. He's very dear to me, as all mystics. And but my chart ruler is Pluto in the 12th house, so I am sort of watched over by the guardian of the mystics and also of the outcasts. See, to everything there's two sides. To everything, to everything, to everything. That is the way, actually. See, this is something I've been called on by my ancestors, I think, to share with you guys, because they are, I'm not saying this to hurt anybody, but they're surprised. They tell me they're surprised at how much we have lost the knowledge about how to deal with duality. So I want to talk about yin and yang. The yin and yang symbol, everybody has seen the Tai Chi symbol, the half black, half white. Now, you see that in those symbols, in the white, there's always a black dot. And in the black, there's always a white dot. Now, in a real ancient Chinese way of seeing this, would be to realize that those are, first of all, it's an image, it's a picture, but these are moving energies. It's like a current, ocean current. And so in the white, there is the black, contained within the black. No, I'm sorry, within the white. But in the white, there contains the black. When black becomes too black, white is given birth to. When white becomes too white, black is born. That is the ancient way. They want me to tell you this. They want me to kind of say this over and over in many different videos, because it's this. It's like, then there's loads of sort of jokes about this that became what people call folklore. Things like, you know, when things become very, very peaceful, people want to have a war. You know, when people fight wars for too long, they want peace. And ultimately, that's why I'm keep talking about pumpkins and local brewery and stuff like this. Is you as a human being, because that's maybe, yeah, okay, that's maybe the last thing I'll share today, because life is not complicated. There are some raccoons on my porch trying to break in. No, you can't come in. No, seriously, you can't. But, like, life is very simple. You find enough food, you eat it. That used to be what people call a career. You know, you did that. Your adult life was about getting enough food for you. And hold on, I really have to. It was about getting enough food and eat it. That was your career. So, you as a human being, I as a human being, there's like a greater responsibility to grow pumpkins than to, like, you know, become a stockbroker. And there's more honor in that too. There's more, it's not more patience, more, you know, that's why you meet country people, they're always nice. Because within the process of growing a pumpkin, that takes really years to master that technique and that love, you know. It's like more like, it's not technique, it's like you have to convince the pumpkin that it's safe and that it's loved and that you need it to grow. That takes years, and that takes so much patience and love. That's why farmers are usually very nice people, because they give love on a daily basis. Remember in Lord of the Rings, there's the hobbits share love. Oh, I remember this in French. I can't remember this in how this is in English, but in French, les hobbits partagent l'amour avec des choses qui poussent, with things that grows, shares love with things that grows. So that's love, you know. Growing pumpkin is love. Brewing beer is definitely love. Any brewer would tell you this. They will also enjoy endlessly lecturing you about everything that they know about brewery, because they're passionate. They're passionate. They believe in this kind of stuff. And so it's always about perspective. And in a way, if we were born, if the Pluto and just Scorpio generation was born from darkness, it's maybe the time to realize that we are that little white dot. Or the other way, maybe we're seeing all the collapse around us and we're experiencing the collapse because we are the black dot within the white. But that does not mean actually that the whole process is stopped, or that that is wrong. That is the yin and yang. That is the Tao. That is the way. It's to accept this. It's to accept there's always white and black and white. They've kind of stopped their invasion now. But I'm just trying to say, you know, because I I've always been a peacemaker. I just never thought I would kind of do that in my adult life, but I believe in this. There would not be anything good for us on this turtle island to fight. We have to find ways to live with each other, find ways to help, to really be together. It's like John Lennon said, we love is knowing that we can be. Because like I know there's a lot of shit. And I know people might like hate me because I quote so much movies and pop culture and stuff, because they'll be like, oh look, these people are so disgusting, you should not talk about them. I know about how the system works a bit, but this is our life, and I'm not going to, you know, hide from any part of it. I don't think anybody should. That kind of thing to say, we don't talk about things that are disturbing, is to run away from the shadow, and then therefore is to separate intentionally the white and the black. Then you're going away from the way, then you're not on the way, then you're in a shit. That's what my spirit wanted me to tell you. I'm actually kind of shy person, but they want me to say these because it's essentially like if we're not the generation to wake up, then some generation and some people will, and they will look at the whole people killing each other as what it is: brother killing brother, sister killing sister, mother killing father. Oh yes, this maybe I should say, because I just have 8 minutes left, I think. Maybe there are only two people in this world who can save us, and it's a man and a woman. I know I'll get like attacked for this. No, it's more than one gender, more than two genders. But like, I thought about this for a while. Who are the two people who could save us? Who are really the only two people who could ever be people on this planet or anywhere else in this universe? It's a man and a woman. Because we are perfection. Think about it. That's what all the ancient wisdoms say. You're the miniature version of the sun and the moon and Saturn and the whole solar system and everything else, everything you cannot even name and imagine. All those waves of beings, of civilizations, of great men and battles, and their horses come and go. But pumpkins have always tasted good. I talk about pumpkins a lot because my family was affected as much of Asia was by the Vietnam War, and my grand uncle went to the Vietnam War. He was like 20 years old, and he was a driver. And he told me there was not really war. I never shot a gun. There was just like no food. There was nothing, and you had to like be able to eat really fast in the soldier people thing. And hold on. And that was a time of great turmoil and great terrible political idiocy in China. I'll make another video on this because that's why I have no allegiance. Kings and queens don't talk to me. There was like no food, and my grandfather in 1959, 60, 61, 62, all those years, he was growing pumpkins. And he was a Virgo. He is a Virgo. Grandpa's 80 this year, but he is a Virgo. And he basically, that was what my grandma, my great grandparents, my father, and my aunts. Well, I guess my aunt was born a bit later, but and relatives and neighbors or whatever. That's a lot of what they had to live on. And so, for me, I moved back to the country when I was 27, 3 years ago, because it just started to occur to me that maybe I have responsibility to what is, to nature, to really good food for me and my children. I include this in all children because all children are all our children. So yeah, I think it's appropriate. Pumpkins, pumpkin power. And I think we need pumpkin power going forward. And I think we need to realize that none of this is a joke. Like, it kind of is a joke. Like, life itself is super funny. Like, I think one of the ways of initiation or choosing who becomes promoted as a shaman in Japan and stuff in the past was how much humor you could sort of express, or not necessarily personally, but make people feel. I know in Tibetan Buddhism this is a thing, and in probably many other things like Zen Buddhism this is probably a thing. You were required to write a poem to describe how you understand that the world itself is an illusion. So I come from these people. So for me to finally talk about this is both illuminating and scary, because I know this is not really shared, and there was a reason this was not really shared, because that's why I put Nostradamus on the wall. Sometimes you do realize that there are people who don't like what you share, but still, I don't give a shit anymore. They can come shoot me because they killed so many people that are dear to my heart, and I think to the collective heart, because they killed Dr. King, the king of love. If they can kill Dr. King, who else can they not kill? Doesn't matter. But war is not the way. Don't be deceived, brothers and sisters. Killing each other is not the way. Now, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I point the way. No, I'm just saying war is not the way. This I will stand. I will fight to not never, but to guillotine a few criminals or public figures. That is not the same thing as a war. You understand what I'm saying? Some people need to be dealt with, but a war is not the way to bombing. No, no, just no. So anyway, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it, and thanks.